Hey, welcome to the Hoop Collective podcast. We talk about the NBA. Joining me right now in Philadelphia is Tim Bontemps.
Hello, Brian.
And joining me from right now, Memphis, Dan McMahon.
Howdy, partners.
So this week, Zion Williamson came back to New Orleans. He's been away. He had been away for about 2 months. He lost a little bit of weight, did not have a boot on. The team didn't really make a formal report about exactly his health, but there had been some speculation he needed a second surgery on his foot. He doesn't seem to have needed that. And so I think it's unlikely that he will play this year, but not impossible because he hasn't really done any basketball activities with the team at all yet. And we're running out of time, but the Pelicans are headed towards a really big decision with Zion Williamson this summer. He is eligible for a contract extension. He has only played 85 games in 3 years, and obviously has shown signs that he and the team are not always on the same page.
Or the same state.
Right.
Time zone. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So this summer he's eligible. It doesn't mean he has to get it. So I thought it wasn't actually my idea. I think it was Bontemps' idea. We thought we would sort of discuss the three options that the Pelicans have for Zion. That's extend him, which is probably going to have to be at the max.
Ooh.
Trade him, which, would be very interesting considering his value probably isn't sky high or high as it could be, or wait. If they wait and don't extend him, he would become an unrestricted free agent. They would have full match rights in 2020.
No, he'd be a restricted free agent.
I am so sorry. You are correct.
Yeah. Yes, as they've
restricted.
Yes.
I misspoke. Thank you for having my back.
Well, Bontemps usually will wait a week and let the internet pile on you and then correct you. I'm at least going to do it in a moment.
All right, Bontemps, extend, trade, wait.
I personally would trade him. I don't have really any faith that Zion Williamson is going to ever play much. I hope I'm wrong because he's super fun to watch, but we're now 3 years into his career and he's played, I think, 85 games.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been no, obviously we're working from an information deficit because we don't know exactly what's going on with his foot, but this is a guy who's had several knee issues over the years. He's now had foot issues. He's obviously a very big guy. I have always, even since he came into the league, been a little more down on him than most because as a 6'4" center, I think it's going to be difficult, no matter how talented he is, to really
6'4" center. He's a 6'6" point forward.
Okay. On defense, where is he playing?
On the worst player on the other team.
Okay. Well, I just think it's going to be difficult I just think it's going to be very difficult to build a championship level team around a guy who is that difficult of a fit. And I think you combine that with the injury issues. And look, here's the other thing. If you're the New Orleans Pelicans, a small market team, can you really afford to offer this guy 5 years and $270 million or whatever the number is going to be, or $200+ million?
It won't be that high because he won't be super max eligible, will he?
Well,
I mean, could be next year. If all he's got to do is make All NBA next year.
Well, you're saying he can't even get on the floor.
Well, if you're signing that extension, you're certainly thinking he's going to play. I don't think you're signing that extension thinking he's not going to play. But ultimately, I just don't know how you can sign yourself up to a guy that has not played and has all these injury issues, and you just have no idea what the future is going to be.
So if I'm David Griffin here, I am exploring the trade market for him, but I am not confident. I'm not selling low on him.
Yeah, okay? I wouldn't do that either, to be fair.
Because that's the problem. To me, like, sure, trade it, but can you get reasonable value back for him? If not, you can't trade him now. And if you can't get good value now, maybe he doesn't play next year and the value drops even more. But I would rather take that risk than, because this guy has MVP type of potential. So I'm not selling low in the trade market on him. I sure as hell am not giving him a fully guaranteed 5-year max to super max extension. No way. I am not extending him unless there's either significant injury protection like the rookie extension that Joel Embiid signed with
Yeah,
Philadelphia
so
76ers.
Embiid played 31 games his first 3 years, signed a max extension that I believe the last 2 years will not fully guaranteed based on number of games played. The difference was he was fully invested in the organization, and the organization had a
Exactly.
belief he was going to be healthy. That's not necessarily the case here.
So if I'm extending him, it's either on an Embiid type of deal, or it's at a number that is lower than that. There's no supermax eligibility, and it's a number lower than the max. Now, I have no expectation that Zion and his representation would accept that deal. So what I'm saying is, as uncomfortable as it is, I am most likely waiting. And because, listen, you're going to push this decision out, and what's the risk of waiting? That his trade value is deflated a little bit more. That's a risk I'm willing to take, given the upside of his trade value skyrocketing. The other risk is, okay, you wait, another team signs him to an offer sheet that's going to be a 4-year max deal.
I don't think he'll
player
be
option.
signed in an offer sheet. I think I think at that point he would take the qualifying offer personally, and then he'd be a restricted free agent.
I'm okay. Then my point is, you can still trade him at that point. And the Pelicans, it's an interesting team because I give Willie Green a lot of credit. I think he's done a phenomenal coaching job this year. They started out 1-12. And they are, we can joke about participation ribbons for the play-in, but they're in the play-in scenario now. It's also a team that's it's a weird, like, they're in this win now mode, and that's the way they're operating, but they're loaded with picks. They've got some young talent, but they went out and got CJ McCollum, which is a clear, win now and for the next few years type of move.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram, unfortunately, he's got a hamstring now, so we'll see when he's back. But they've been a 500 team when they've had Brandon Ingram this year, and Ingram has played at an all-star level. So it's a team where they've got some nice pieces. They've got a lot of ammo in the trade market with all the picks. And I would say Ingram and CJ McCollum, like, if those are your number 2 and 3 players in terms of offensive options, man, it's got a chance to be a really explosive team. But then there's just this, 300-pound hole in the middle of that roster that it's a constant. It's a silent circus is what the whole Zion Williamson experience is.
That's a good way to put it. So I think it will come down to how much poker Zion is interested in playing this summer. So if he really wants the extension, and if he doesn't get it, he could threaten the qualifying offer. Now, I would argue he's not in a good bargaining position. The one thing that he's got is his qualifying offer is the largest qualifying offer in NBA history. It's $17.6 million. So it would, the situation of, the idea is you take the qualifying offer and then you could be a free agent after that. And it's not so much that he would actually have to play out 2 years. All you have to do is credibly threaten that you would take the qualifying offer, and that might be good enough to force a trade. We can debate, though, about whether that's a credible threat for a guy who's played 85 games in 3 years. So that is going to be a factor in this.
Mm-hmm.
Is his representation, which is CAA,
and his stepdad,
Lee Anderson, do they want to get into that game with the Pelicans? If not, if they're not gonna cause that wave, I'm with you, McMahon. I wait.
Yeah,
because I don't think you can get the best trade for him now.
Well, and to be clear, in my end, I'm only trading him if I can get an offer that I think is worth trading him for. I'm not trading him for
let's just talk about, like, if you're the New York Knicks, that's
the team I'm thinking of.
If the New York Knicks, they have their full complement of picks. Plus, I think at least
they do.
Plus the Mavericks, not this year, but next year.
What is Zion? What is a real offer for Zion Williamson in this current situation?
We're starting with RJ Barrett. We're filling it out from there. I'm asking for Barrett and another one of their quality young players, and I'm asking for at least 4 first-round picks. And if you don't want to, if you're not willing to give that up, then okay, I'm willing to wait. But they've they've got all their picks plus the Mavericks. I'm asking for at least 4 first rounders. And then I want RJ Barrett and another quality young player.
What is a more risky move, signing him to a $200 million extension or trading your best young player in 4 firsts for him? Because I think they're both probably.
It's a massive risk on all fronts for the Knicks.
So I think doesn't that point to hold?
Yeah, I think that's where we end up.
I wouldn't be the one. I wouldn't be making that trade if I were the Knicks, but I suspect that if Zion Williamson is actually on the market, I would not be surprised if he got traded, because I think there would end up being a lot of people that would decide, if we get him out of New Orleans, we get him with our people, we'll get him healthy, he'll be great. And they would
CAA ties, obviously, and name a franchise that is more starved for that type of marquee talent.
I would do everything I possibly could to keep RJ Barrett out of the trade. That may not be possible, but like, again, you'd be potentially buying a little bit low depending on what happens. I will say this. You mentioned about the Pelicans and the play-in. Pelicans right now are lined up to play the Lakers in the play-in.
Oh, it's delicious.
Can you imagine they would, I mean, I assume hope AD would be back for that. If they would send AD home and then tell the Lakers to leave their draft pick in the locker room on the way out the door, because they would get it in all likelihood.
Well, that pick is, I don't know.
Top 10 to New Orleans, 11 through 30 to Memphis. But right now it's right on the border.
It's right on the border. And does the play-in factor into where that pick lands, or is it based just on regular season standings?
Bontemps researched this. He says if you don't make the playoffs, you're in the lottery.
It's lottery. The lottery is based off of record of non-playoff teams. So it's that order.
So right now it is sitting at number 11, which is the best case scenario for the Grizzlies, which, by the way, I went to the game and unfortunately Brandon Ingram didn't play and it was a complete blowout. But that was one of the things that, like, the Memphis New Orleans game, Memphis needed that win for their own purposes, but also, like, they don't want New Orleans catching the Lakers in the standings.
No, they don't. So, by the way, the last time the Lakers had the 11th lottery spot, the year that they jumped up to 4th in the lottery and got Anthony Davis in a trade with the Pelicans.
Interesting. All right, so trade, hold, extend, we lean towards hold.
Explore all the options, but you're probably ended up holding. And by the way, you are operating. Nobody here is operating under the assumption or even the reasonable hope that Zion Williams is long term with the Pelicans. It's just a matter of when are they trading him, and how can the Pelicans best play this situation to maximize the benefits of having him in the first place.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching the Soup Collective Short. You can listen to us twice a week on our full podcasts. Thank you, McMahon. Thank you, Bontemps.
Adios, amigos.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.